Chief, Chief, my Chief, hello.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sujay.
And I am Ilampirai. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you to the 16th Foundation Day celebration of the Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli.
We want to take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to the dignitaries, our respected faculty, staff, students, and alums who have joined us today. I request Sri Kamal Karant, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, Professor Satish S. Maheshwarappa, Professor Godwin Tennyson, and Professor P. Saravanan to please take their seats on the dais. Thank you. Before we begin the program, students are requested to kindly switch off their mobile phones for the length of the ceremony. I thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Light is considered as a symbol of knowledge that dispels darkness and ushers in wisdom and hope. I would now like to invite all the dignitaries to inaugurate the ceremony with the invocation and lighting of the lamp, which inspires clarity and progress in our endeavors. या शुद्धवस्था या वीणादण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना
Two students, please. Any two, please.
या
One thing.
प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती सरस्वती भगवती I now invite our beloved director to honor our distinguished chief guest, Sri Kamal Karan, with a bouquet.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, it is with great pleasure that we play a video presentation showcasing the inspiring journey of our esteemed institution, marking 15 years of excellence from its modest origins to the remarkable heights of achievement it has reached today.
"15 years ago, a vision took root to build not just an institution, but a space where knowledge, integrity, and leadership converge. In 2010, the conceptual foundation of the Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli, was laid. In 2011, the institute became operational, welcoming its first batch. From the outset, IIM Tiruchirappalli was guided by a commitment to academic rigor, ethical leadership, and national relevance. Beginning with management education and expanding into human resources, doctoral research, and executive learning, the institute evolved steadily, responding to the changing needs of business, policy, and society. Rigorous academics are strengthened by contemporary learning infrastructure, from case-based pedagogy and live projects to Bloomberg-enabled finance labs and globally benchmarked curriculum, preparing students for real-world decision-making. Growth at IIM Tiruchirappalli is defined not only by scale, but by responsibility. Sustainability is embedded through a green campus, renewable energy, water conservation, and institutional responsibility initiatives. Beyond classrooms, students and faculty actively engage with society through blood drives, cleanliness campaigns, tree plantation, and school outreach. A vibrant campus culture shaped by events like Dhruva and student-led initiatives, nurturing leadership, collaboration, and creativity, while alumni carries the institution's value into industry, governance, and society. 15 years on, IIM Tiruchirappalli has come a long way, grounded in values, guided by rigor, and open to evolution. This is IIM Tiruchirappalli. Jnanam Anantam. Knowledge is infinite.
It is my pleasure to invite Professor Satish S. Maheshwarappa, Dean Academics, to deliver the welcome address. Please join me in welcoming the professor.
Good morning to all of you, and a warm welcome to all of you. It's a moment of great pride and a joy for us at IIM Tiruchirappalli celebrates 16th Foundation Day. On this auspicious occasion, it's my privilege to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Shri Kamal Karan, co-founder of Xfino Private Limited, whose rich professional and leadership insights, I'm sure all of us will be benefited from, both students as well as faculty and staff. As the ecosystem is dynamic and changing, I think a person who has such a rich experience will share his thoughts, which will enlighten us, all of us, in our endeavor for the growth of this institute. So I take this opportunity to extend a respectful and heartfelt welcome to our beloved director, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, who has been a constant pillar of guidance and support for the institute. I also warmly welcome my colleagues, Professor P. Saravanan, Dean, Corporate and Relationship Office, and Dr. Godwin Dennison, Dean Administration, and all my faculty colleagues, officers, staff, and finally, the beloved students. IIM Tiruchirappalli was instituted as the 11th Indian Institute of Management on the 4th of January 2011 by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. Since its inception, the institute has steadily flourished by placing strong emphasis on academic excellence, rigorous research, and meaningful engagement with industry and society at large. This unwavering commitment to the quality has earned IIM Tiruchirappalli the prestigious Association of MBAs, that is the AMBA accreditation, And as we complete 15 years of service to the nation in the field of management, education, and step into the 16th year, the Institute has gained growing recognition as a center of academic excellence, research excellence, and impactful to the industry as well as to the society. So, Foundation Day is a significant milestone that allows us to reflect on our journey and celebrate our achievements and reaffirm our commitment to the future growth. So, as part of the 16th Day Foundation celebration, the Institute is also proud to launch its 15-year anniversary commemorative book, which chronicles the journey of our institute, the values and key achievements that IIM Tiruchirappalli has over the past decade and a half. This publication marks an important juncture in our institute, so that it sets a legacy as well as it gives us the direction for the future that we are going to take. So Foundation Day also provides an opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate invaluable contributions of our faculty, the staff, and the students, officers, and all the stakeholders who are part of this institute. And this strengthens our sense of community that defines IIM Tiruchirappalli's belongingness. So it is a celebration of our enduring commitment to academic excellence, research, leadership development, and social responsibility. So I take this moment to wish IIM Tiruchirappalli continued success as it upholds its mission of nurturing responsible leaders and contributing meaningfully to the nation building. So once again, thank you and wish you all a happy Foundation Day and a warm welcome from us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I am privileged to introduce our esteemed director, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, a figure who indeed does not require one. Sir prefers not to have one, so I won't delve into his professional affiliations. Beyond titles and credentials, our director is characterized by his warmth and compassion. He constantly provides guidance and mentorship, steering us towards paths that lead to contentment, happiness, and genuine success. Dr. Singh exemplifies leadership through action, embodying the principles he imparts. We view him not just as a director, but as a guru, guiding us through his exemplary conduct. With great honor, I extend an invitation to sir to address the gathering.
So Prabhat, good morning, vanakkam, and welcome on this auspicious day, that is the birthday of our beloved institution. So I'll say once you also just you also raise your voice in praise of our institution. Happy birthday, IIM Tiruchirappalli. Thank you very much. And I also take this occasion to greet you and for your family Happy New Year, because I'm meeting with some of my lovely colleagues for the first time in this year. So Happy New Year. Respected chief guest of the occasion, Shri Kamal Karanji, my colleagues, Dean Academics, Dr. Satish Ji, Dean Administration, Dr. Godwin Ji, and Dean Corporate Relations and Faculty Affairs, Dr. Sarvan Ji, my dear faculty colleagues, my team of officers and staff, dear students, guests, alumni, and many are not present here, to all the external stakeholders and internal stakeholders of the institution, and to all lovely students. This is a great occasion. We have completed 15 years of existence, and we have entered 16th. So it is 15 year of completion of the institution and 16th Foundation Day, technically to be correct. And when a human being enters 16th year, it is said that you have entered into the sweet part of your life. And as I see any institution of this stature, there are various milestones, because I have some experience of nurturing an institution right from the scratch. For example, IIM Sambalpur, nothing was there. Even I had to manage registration because unless registration was there, that time any IIM could not be born because during 2015, IIM was not an institution as per Parliament Act, but as per Society Registration Act. Then I realized first 3 years, a very crucial period for any institution because nothing is there. Only gaseous object is there. You have to crystallize it. No shape is there. For example, you find when a child is born, a newly born child, moment appears in the house, there is a debate in the house. मेरे ख्याल से नानी जैसा दिखता है. मेरे ख्याल से दादा जैसा दिखता है. I think looks like father. Somebody say seems looks like aunt because the shape of the face is not yet solidified. It is a liquid face or liquid shaped face. So an institution has been born, let us say, and first 3 years it is taking shape. And during that period, IIM Tiruchirappalli was flourishing in the campus of NIT Tiruchirappalli. So from here, I would also like to pay our gratitude to NIT Tiruchirappalli, जिन्होंने पहला शरण हमें दिया. NIT Tiruchirappalli, they first gave us shelter, so our gratitude to them. 2011, sir, 2010, as it was rightly said by my dear student, in 2000 or in the video, 2010 conceptual birth year of this institution, and 2011 basically is the physical birth. And generally we celebrate physical birth and birthday. Of course, Indian knowledge system says that actually you are born as a human being 9 months before actually your physical birth, and that is correct. So 2010, 2011. And last year also I had said it, but I feel delighted again repeating that in 2008, first time in ministry, a discussion took place about increasing the number of IIMs. And by chance, I was in that meeting. Those days, meeting used to be invited by none other than a Minister of HRD or Minister of Education. That time it was called Minister of HRD, Sri Arjun Singh Ji. They called 7 IIM directors. Only 7 existed at that point of time. Youngest was Shillong at that point of time. And we all 7 met with Sri Arjun Singh Ji, that time HRD Minister. Then he said that we are thinking in this direction to increase number of IIM. That time it was not decided it will go to Tamil Nadu or Tiruchirappalli or it will go to, let us say, Rajasthan or Udaipur. Only new IIMs will be created, and around 6 would be created, he said. Directors had their own apprehensions. We said, sir, create one by one, every 2 years a new IIM. Minister said, you are so capable directors. One at a time, and then after two years, another one, after 2 years, another one. No, you are so capable. So he pampered us, and we agreed. Anyway, 6 IIMs were created. Conceptual birth of creating new IIMs, that is 6, took place in 2008, and slowly we crystallized. And some IIMs were nurtured by someone, some by someone. And I think IIM Tiruchirappalli has a special model that it had its own gestation period, and it mostly nurtured itself by itself till 2010 to 2011, and waited for some critical number of faculty to join here. And then in 2011 became operational. Whereas many other IIMs, when they begin with 0 faculty. Because mental institutes faculty, they chip in and they help. And there is one beauty with the IIM system, which I have been telling to vice chancellors of central universities also, especially new central universities, that in IIM, when a new IIM is born, we take it up. Means the older system, older IIMs, they feel responsible to nurture that new IIM so that our new member in the family also attains certain level of, let us say, academics. And on PGP almost, an IIM born in this month, its PGP education would be at par with any other established IIM. On many other things, it has to wait. So in this way, I was also witnessing germination of seed of creating new IIMs. So as we know that we had 7, 6 was added, so 30, then again 6 was added, so 19, again 1 was added, that was Jammu, and that I came to know as a senior faculty in the IIM system. through budget presentation, because nobody was knowing. We thought it is 13 plus 7, 20 only. But in the budget presentation, Sri Arun Jaitley said, IIM Jammu. So we all came to know that it is 20th. And then 21st IIM, Niti converted to IIM, became 21st. And now IIM Guwahati will come 22. So there are 23 IITs, 23 IIMs. And for a big country like this is needed. Increase in number was needed. And in this process, what I was saying, first 3 years critical for any institution. I see a timeline like this. First 3 years, first 5 years. In first 5 years, you should be able to tell we have taken a shape. Then first 10 years, and then first 15 years. And at the time when you are 20 years old in IIM system, you must claim that I am as matured as any of the rest of my sister organizations. So when I joined here in 2021, IIM Tiruchirappalli was entering into its 11th year, and 10 years was completed. Today, 15 years completed. So in this way, I'm very fortunate. I'm lucky to witness and to be a small part in this entire scheme of development of this institution from its 11th year to entering 16th year. This was also a critical phase, and our entire team has put their best efforts. Many times fruits are not congruous with your efforts, but that does not matter at all. And dear students, let me tell you, don't care for fruits. Who cares for fruits? When your intention is correct, your effort is 100%, and your, propensity to give help and take help is at the peak, then fruits can wait for you. You should not wait for fruit. So at this juncture, I'll say, as one of the members of this institution in the last 5 years, I have certain degree of satisfaction. Many things we could not do, does not matter, because if you have not done something, it means we are more action oriented. But during past 5 years of journey of my stay here, it has been satisfactory to me. But I will ask my colleagues also, because it is not a personal satisfaction, but personally, as head of the institution, I am highly satisfied. But yes, if I think deeply, the list, what we could not do, will become longer than what we could do. But I think this is a good sign, not a bad sign. So critical phases, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then 20 years. After 20 years, don't count. कब तक बहू कहती रहेगी हम नए हैं? पुराने हम भी हो गए. We are no more new IIM, not at all. And even so-called new IIMs which were born in 2015, 6 IIMs were born, 7 IIMs were born. They are also no more new because they have also completed now 10 years or so. So in institution building phase, you see, mother takes a lot of pain, because that is the system created by God to give birth to child. So thanks to the entire machinery, the government, all external stakeholders and well-wishers to create this institution. But postnatal is also a critical period. The mother's role further rather increases. And human being is the most immature creature born, as I have understood. I have seen a cow giving birth to a calf or a filly. And within 10-15 minutes, the calf searches the source of food and stands on 4 feet. Within 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes, it struggles and stands. And human child, oh my God, needs attention after attention, attention after attention. And not only up to 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It is said that you are not experienced parents unless you have teenage children. So they also take your examination. So this all happens. So human being is the most immature creature I have seen born, because it needs further nurturing. So institution also needs further nurturing. And that postnatal, once the child is born or institution is born, the care has to be taken more and more. And in this process, let me just count that 4 things matter for an institution. And because it is Foundation Day, we should talk something about institution. Number 1 is that Basic infrastructure. If there is no hut, you cannot be saved against rain or scorching sun or chilly winter. There has to be a hut now. So there has to be physical, tangible infrastructure. That has to be there. And I have realized that if you don't have infrastructure sufficient, your creativity also gets hampered. So people may say, no, creativity, soft skill is a different thing, infrastructure is a different thing. There are many people who keep saying this is different, that is different. I also agree that two things are not similar. But tell me in this world, which two things are totally disconnected? I was thinking deeply many times. Randomly X taken, randomly other variable Y taken. Randomly, are they connected? And you will find yes. After this chain, that chain, they are connected. Whole existence is interdependent. Your hardware means hardware is your, let us say, of your body is bony structure. It is hardware. And the mind that you think through. And there is a point in mind which feels, but we say heart feels, but actually heart is a pumping station. But your software of the physical body and hardware of the physical body, are they disconnected? Not at all. Sometimes I have also fallen sick, and thought also falls sick. Energy when goes out, physical energy goes out, mental energy goes out. Nothing is disassociated. And enjoy this symphony. And you will really be in romance with existence if you find there is interconnectivity everywhere. First thing is infrastructure. In terms of building, in terms of, let us say, anything physical, they are all physical infrastructure. Even the outer side of a computer is a physical infrastructure. Inside maybe the softer one, infrastructure. And intellectual infrastructure. And I have all, let us say, confidence to say that our faculty, among the sister institution or similar types of institutions which are in top 20, 30, I have experienced some institutions. Our faculty is one of the best in this entire system. And we are careful creating this team. So infrastructure, that is very important. And second one is the intent of people working here in this institution that makes an institution great or otherwise. What is the intent of persons working here? So our faculty, our staff, our officers, our students know their job. Sometimes I feel really sorry for one or two students sometime what they're doing with themselves. Because we want to make this institution a great place, a heaven for those students who are self-disciplined. And disciplining does not mean punishing. Discipline means chastisement, shuddhikaran, purification. But any student worth his or her dignity will keep purifying himself only or herself by herself. Purify yourself by yourself. Why others should purify you? Us umar ko aap paar kar gaye. You have crossed that limit. Sometime you needed to be bathed by your mother and or father, but now we do not need. But our students, wonderful lot. And sometime I take walk during late night. I purposely go closer towards hostel. Dekhe wahan bacche kya kar rahe hain. Because a lot of energy, vibration is there. And our students are working very well. Our entire team, and especially the culture of IIM Tiruchirappalli, I have been saying to my colleagues in other institutions also, they ask, I also ask how the things are going on. Because when directors meet, I tell that this is a place where we can laugh together and we can cry together. Because directors have their own quota of crying, you know. So, but with before whom to cry? So when we 10, 15 people meet sometime, we say, this is occasion to laugh together and to cry together. Because we have to also cry sometime to get something. So, second one is intent of people. Third important thing is that, and let us take that, that commitment to that virtuous cycle of energy, putting all efforts to do a thing. This is the third factor which makes an institution great. What is that? Putting all the efforts together, putting all the possible efforts together to get the desirable thing done. So first was infrastructure, second was intent of people, and third is commitment to all efforts. I call it surrounding an issue, or sometimes we say a problem, surrounding an issue by 360-degree angle. I learned it from discussions with honorable judges, because they said unless we surround an issue from 360-degree angle, we do not pass any punishment on the, let us say, person who has been inflicted. It has to be 360. Even 359 will be not sufficient, because the gap is there, so we cannot close the case. And that's why sometimes you find some persons who are punishable also get scot-free, because they could not surround the issue by 360-degree angles. That commitment helps students to go for good study, helps professor to create good session material, and helps teachers, professors to write good articles or good books. That have I put everything that could be done by me? That is a third factor which makes institution great. And fourth factor is that, especially for academic institution, that we make use of all possibilities through internal resources and external resources. So sometimes I say that, especially if you see a dean's role, typically very multifarious role, and multitasking is there, but mostly it has to role is, with your permission, dean sirs, that it is to create a citadel, create a fortification, creating fortification of the system, process, academics, everything. And let us say role of director. Director has to be also looking inside what is happening. But generally the role is of boundary management, what is happening. Isn't it not that somebody is attacking on us? Boundary management means where actually this institution has a crisscross with large system in this academia or in this nation. So with these four things, any institution becomes great. And today, on Foundation Day, I want to remind my lovely students here, foundation, matlab Aadhar Bhoot Stambh. Foundation of this room is not visible. Foundation of this room is not visible. But this room's resilience and strength depends on foundation. So few simple things in simple language, I'll say that there are two sides of personality. One is glorious, one is glamorous. Please be glamorous. Look handsome, have the best dress, matching dress, this and that. Fine. That is glamorous part. Glamorous means you should be presentable. You should be looking a bit more handsome or pretty. You should do some effort to look more beautiful. That's fine. But more important is glorious part. More important is glorious part. And I'm in favor of glamorous part, but more important is glorious part. Like this roof, the ceiling cannot exist without foundation. How the ceiling can exist without foundation, tell me. But foundation can exist without ceiling. Who is dependent on what? Your entire journey from here now onward will depend on the strength of the foundation you're putting to yourself by attending classes well, doing preparation beforehand. Teacher is saying run at the rate of or walk at the rate of say 4 miles per hour, and you should be ready to cover 4.2 miles per hour. I'm not saying 6 miles per hour or 9 miles per hour. And my formula is be 1 inch ahead of the pace set by this institution, and your life will be beautiful and you will feel you are living in an orchard. And if you are just 1 inch behind the pace set by the institution, whole period of your stay here appears like more clumsy, bothering, or let us say stressful. So that is important. Foundation is very important. And studies have suggested that those who do strict, smart kind of treatment to their syllabi and courses during their post-graduation or graduation level, anyhow, just surviving and based on your, let us say, something style and flavor and touch, anyhow you manage, and perhaps you manage first good job also. By the time you're 36, 37 years old, you will start a depletion, which gives you a feeling of some hollowness inside. So this is Foundation Days. reminder to my lovely students. Make foundation strong. MBA is not meant for getting the first job. MBA is meant for lifetime capability building. It is a leveler. So please be serious about it. But whole journey is so joyful. Whole journey is so joyful. It is said that education, from the angle of students, your education depends on 4 things. Attentive to your syllabi, class, be, let us say, proactive in that area. And secondly, you should also do good debates among yourselves, which you have been doing because our system is like that. And thirdly, you must learn from the lessons of life. And fourthly, this has been my favorite area, right from +2 or during matriculation, self-study. Had I not done properly self-study, nobody would have allowed me to stand here. Self-study, which helps you to learn, ponder over, and then keep developing what is called Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasana. Shravan is not only listening, reading is also Shravan. Watching is also Shravan, though watching is witnessing, you will say. Shravan to kaan se kiya jata hai. But sometimes language becomes mysterious. That Shravan is also what you learn by observing, what you learn by listening, what you learn by touching, what you learn by smelling, what you learn by tasting. From all Panchabhuta, Panch Indriya. That is Shravan, getting from outside. Manan, churning inside. Nididhyasana, giving permanent citizenship to the newly acquired knowledge. And then getting next level of understanding. That is very important. So, dear all my lovely friends here and our honorable chief guest, grand congratulations to all of you. And I also congratulate myself to all that we are celebrating Foundation Day of this institution. Happy birthday to the institution again. And when we say happy birthday, this is my personal thing, but you are no other than me. You're an extension of me. I don't treat you as other. So I can tell you that let us treat the institution as the aanchal of mother. माँ के आंचल जैसा होना चाहिए इंस्टीट्यूशन से आपका रिश्ता. जो आपका रिश्ता आपकी माँ के आंचल से है, वही होना चाहिए आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन से. और माता का आंचल बनता है धागों के, जिसको कहते हैं वेफ्ट एंड वाफ्ट, क्या कुछ कहते हैं, धागा ताना बाना भी कहते हैं. So we have to also horizontally help institution to grow and also allow it to grow vertically, deepening into certain area. और इस ताने बाने का हमको उसको सुधारना है, उसको विकास करना है, उसको सुरक्षा करनी है. और इस ताने बाने को कोई भी छूने की कोशिश करेगा तो आक्रमण कर देना है. With this, all the best to all of you, and may God bless us to have further glorious journey on the path of developing this institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind, enlightening, defining, and energizing words. It is my immense privilege to introduce our distinguished chief guest, Shri Kamal Karanth. Shri Kamal Karanth is the co-founder of Extino Private Limited, a pioneering specialist staffing firm launched in 2017 with a clear mission to craft high-performing specialist teams for leading brands. Over the past 8 years, Extino has built a formidable presence in the talent ecosystem, having recruited and deployed over 28,000 professionals across India. Today, Extino operates with a strong team of 344 specialist recruiters who collectively place nearly 7,000 professionals every month, reflecting both the scale and depth of the firm's expertise. In recent years, Extino has also played a critical role in partnering with over 30 Greenfield Global Capability Centers, GCCs, across GPS, IT, and engineering domains, further strengthening its position as a trusted specialist staffing partner. Prior to his entrepreneurial journey, Shri Kamal Karanth has held several senior leadership roles in globally renowned organizations. He served as the managing director at Kelly Services and headed the Asia Pacific region for Randstad. Across these leadership roles, he played a key role in strengthening market leadership positions, driving sustained growth and building scalable, high-performance organizations across the Asia-Pacific region. Beyond his corporate and entrepreneurial achievements, Shri Kamal Karan is also a co-founder trustee of the Indian Staffing Federation, where he has contributed to shaping industry standards, policy advocacy, and the long-term development of India's staffing ecosystem. He is widely regarded as a thought leader in the world of work, hosting multiple podcasts on workplace dynamics and contributing regularly as a columnist, offering insights on leadership, talent strategy, and the evolving nature of work. We are truly honored to have him with us today as our chief guest and keynote speaker. His journey, insights, and perspectives make him uniquely positioned to inspire us on this special occasion. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Shri Kamal Karan.
So where do I begin? So let me start with the honor I've been given with sharing the dais with Director Talent, the team of Congress, Professor Satish, Professor Savan, and Professor Godwin. And let me start by congratulating the chief for its foundation day. Happy birthday once again. And this is a kind of a sajish, you can't put me after Director Pawan. I need a Red Bull to match what he just did. Really. Right. I also did the agenda next time. Please be careful. You put the chief guest before the director. This is not okay. But why am I here? When somebody asked me to come and talk to you, I was asking what is that I have to offer. And the next few minutes, the sharings I have is a combination of about 2 entrepreneurs I work for and 2 multinationals I work for. I currently work for the third entrepreneur, which is me, which is the most difficult one because I don't listen to myself. And I change my mind every other week, as people say. So the third one is the most difficult. So I'm going to share some of these experiences, which I believe, if it resonates, please take what resonates with you, and what doesn't work, please leave them aside. So what do we do, which brings me here? Today, we're about completing our 9th year. And Jan 14th, we step into our 10th year as an organization that I run today as an entrepreneur. So your foundation day resonates with me. We also call it the foundation week, Jan 14th to Jan 20th as an organization. And clearly, when we started Expino, which actually means extend your expression. When we started Expino, we asked, what does work mean to us? And the first few employees, some of them said, work means potential, work means opportunity, work means fulfillment. And someone said, work means expression. The word expression sort of stayed with us. And we said, work is nothing but people's expression. And if people are able to bring their best expressions to work, what would that workplace look like? And that's how the term, we look for terms which match with expression. And in biology, as you know, phenotype means expression. And being in the business of putting people to work, we said if the people that we facilitate employment for bring their best expressions, that's the organization that extend your expression Expino would look like. And that's how Expino was born. And in that space over the last 9 years, what we have done is we're consulting organizations which are coming to India and setting up what they call as global capability centers. I suppose most of you understand what is global capability centers. Just in case if it doesn't, please pardon me, because that's an area that we work where any organization in the world today needs to be digitally savvy, serves the customers through digital means, and all of them need to go to the next level of digital experience for their customers. And the global organizations today, at least 1,800 of them have chosen to set up their global capability centers in India. It could be a retail company like a Walmart or an investment banking firm like a Goldman Sachs. And there are 1,800 such companies. Why is it important to understand that is, if you look at the Forbes 2,000 companies which are there globally, only 400 of them are in India in the form of a global capability centers. So if you look at 1,800 of these companies which are in India, which employ 2 million professionals, there are kind of 3 categories to it. One is about 130 companies who we can call as bellwethers. That means they have large size in India in terms of the number of people they employ. Well, what is the outcome they do is very difficult to say because much of that information is private and possibly within that organization. So what we can measure from outside is the size of the company. And there you have one lot of people, 130 of these companies, which have 5,000 and above, which employ close to 14 lakh professionals. So that's a very large chunk. The second chunk is the number of new capability centers coming to India. So over the last 30 months, close to about 140 such companies came. The expectation for 2026, about 100 such companies will come to India. So what, if you look at these two regions of people, that is the bellwethers of 130 who employ close to 14 lakh people, and the 140 who came to India in the last 30 months, who currently employ about 140,000 people, and another 1,500 companies which employ about an average of 400 to 500. So these are three clusters of global capability centers that companies like Xfinus serve. So what do? When the companies come to India, they want to know where the skills are available. And if they're coming to India, whether the skills they need is really available. So we end up talking to them about, okay, these kind of skills are available in Hyderabad, this in Pune, and they're available in this kind of a scale. Now, let's say somebody wants to hire 400 data science people, we look at, okay, do we have 4,000 people available in this city for them to choose their 400? So, and how long will it take to hire them, the speed? And do we have enough people? And what would it cost to hire these 400 people? So they come to India to look for the skills and the speed in which they can recruit and the scale they need and what price they get it to. So that is typically the space Xfinus operates in, and that is what, as a company, we do. And through that experience, I wanted to sort of also talk to the students, especially in terms of how these choices are made. I'm sure many of you who have got placed already have made those choices based on multiple factors. The most important factor could be the brand, right? So you ask yourself, how many of you are here who already got placed or the final year who got placed? Any of you raise your hands? Okay. So I don't know whether you'll be brave enough to admit. So what is the first criteria to select your employer? Was it a brand? Was it the role? Was it the money? Was it the industry? Role? Sachiman. Who will pay the student loan? You just went for a role and you can't pay back what you've taken. And you're right, you possibly when you're studying, you are also a little esoteric. You say, okay, I want to be this. I want to be the marketing head of this company one day. So I start in this path. So role becomes very important. But then you won't go and join an unknown company. Let's say if I say join Xfinus, you would say what? Right? Because you want your employment, wherever you work, actually is not where you work. You work, the employment actually is in the cohorts of your neighborhood, your family, your relations, your schoolmates, your friends. These are the guys who go and tell, this guy works for Infosys, this guy works for Walmart. Your parents should be sharing that. Imagine if they go and say, I work for Xfinus. It takes 5 minutes to explain what is Xfinus, right? My father has the same problem for 25 years now. To tell people, where does his son-in-law work, right? I've worked for such names where it has been difficult for him to say, okay, this guy works for Walmart, easy to comprehend, right? So as students, I'm sure when you chose the role, you also chose the brand. And I don't know how many unknown names are there. The names that you have put out there in the banner I saw were all known names. Right? There wasn't a single name where I was wanting to ask a company get up here. I never looked at that. They were all known names. So brand is an important element when you make that choice. Definitely, I'm sure all of you know, okay, IIM Tiruchirappalli means, you have to have at least this much package. Otherwise, you won't even allow those companies to come inside, would you? Right? So the consideration has been brand. You said role. Money is a factor. Some of you may choose industry as well. But as you progress in your career, what becomes very important is the people that you work with. Director just mentioned about the quality of people who are here. It is very difficult to possibly relate to that when you're making your first couple of choices, because those choices are driven by, like I said, many other things. But if you work in some place, you'll say, why do you think companies put out all their leadership profile on the websites? To give you a feeling of what are the kind of people who lead my company. And of course, you have other forums today like Glassdoor and other things which talk about the kind of people who work for it. Rating is on one side, but when you go and look at the comments, you'll also see what kind of people exist there, right? But it's a very hard thing to choose when you're in college. I can relate to it. I know my co-founder, he made 4 job changes, and every time my co-founder is my childhood friend. We were chatting those, so I know how he made those changes. And he'll come back and say, I met these guys. Oh, they're awesome. And every time, because I said, Anil, have you asked what salary they're going to pay? No, I like this guy. I want to join this company. That was how he made those choices. Whereas I looked at brands at various facts. Like I said, I work for 2 Fortune 500 companies. I work for 2 entrepreneurs. So there are various stages where I said, okay, this is a C-suite role. I'm going to take it. This is a Fortune 500 company. I'm going to take it. I made choices like that, so I can relate to it. Right. So when you are making these choices, and if you look at the global capability centers that have come to India today, they are doing multiple things which possibly will also impact India in the long run. Today, companies are coming to India at a different context where some of them are doing just service to their global headquarters. They come to India, they're expected to do something which possibly IT service provider was doing, they do that work. So what you call is a service. The second line of work that they do, what you can call is, they just provide output to an input coming from the global places. For example, one of the leading banks, even today in New York, gets 5,000 faxes a day. If any of you still understand what is a fax, I don't know. Anybody who doesn't know what is a fax? It's outdated stuff. But that is, they're getting an input, somebody's creating an digital output of it and sending it back to New York. You won't classically call it an output, it's more a service. The third context in which many of these companies are today working are outcome based. That means you are leading a transformation for your global operations right from India. And that is where today there are 5,000 people working in this space who are the truly global roles. And the general belief is that we will have at least 4 times of those roles where Indians will lead the global operations for this company. And that is where that space is hard. And when I look at where many of you students are joining in consulting companies, or let's say in some of the banks that you're joining, they're all in the space of creating a transformation for companies globally. Right? So when you make these choices, I just come back to the choices that you made. And as a recruiter, when I see how it pans out, I also want to talk about a little about the setbacks that you face. Possibly the best case situation is what we all prepare ourselves for when we are studying and when you're joining a particular brand, because anybody who comes here and makes presentations about the company, even if I make one on X, what will I say? I'll say all the great things about the company. So you really have to dig deep to see what's within that. But I'm sure at the stage that you're in, you won't bother about all those things. But when you join a company, I want you to remember that there are almost 180,000 IIMs already working in the market, right? And if you put together all the 21 IIMs that today articulated, there are 8,000 to 9,000 MBAs coming from pre-med institutes every year. When you get out, you 500 of you, you will have 8,500 to 9,000 from pre-med institutes coming out just this year. So that is the crowd you're joining, but you're fortunate. You're fortunate because you belong to an IIM Tiruchirappalli, and this is a very, very advantageous position. You get a entry really right. One, not because of just the tag, but not many people get that entry point. But if you look at the number of people who are employed in the 0 to 5 year space, there are almost 90,000 people like that, that you're competing with. So that's an area that you go with. And you always have the pressure of whether you chose right. And specifically when you're in the stage that you're in, your parents will tell you, your friends will tell you, sometimes your boss will tell you that you're good at this. And sometimes you choose something because it's an aspiration or it's my paisa, there's an opportunity. And not necessarily it is something that you're good at. And how to determine that something that you're good at, not because somebody else told you, because everybody fuels each other's aspirations. I tell my daughter wanted to cycle, I said, must have, do it. Because today we are all in the encouragement mode. We tell people what they want to do, which is a good thing, but we never hold the mirror sometimes. Because the mirror comes when you start working for somebody, because they don't care what your aspirations are. They do care. I'm being a little not honest to the employers, but tell you that somebody who's paying you money, they are expecting you to be at your best, and they will find out if you cannot do what you think is your aspiration. You chose that because it's the right thing to do. Like I said, you chose a brand, chose it for money, you chose it for different reasons. But then you figure out as you start doing it, when somebody's paying you, it's unlikely that you can produce what they want. And that's when you figure out whether that is part of your strength. What is the strength? For me, what's the strength is something that you enjoy doing. And two, you're good at it. And you'll only know you're good at it after you start working somewhere. So the first 4 or 5 years, in my view, you possibly end up experimenting on, is this the role that I actually studied all my life, I was passionate about, that I really wanted to do? My life, I studied microbiology, I'll be the best immunologist in the country. We couldn't afford a PG, so I went and joined sales. And in 6 months' time, I realized that I'm good at sales. That's because everybody around me started to say, hey, you're good at this. I never wanted to be a sales guy. I hated sales guys. The Eureka folks guys used to come and sell the vacuum cleaner in my house. I hated the way they used to, I thought they always sales guys were cornering. But it's been 30 years, I've been doing the same thing. But it took 6 months to 8 months for me to realize, and others told me that I'm good at it. And two, that is after employment, I mean. And two, I was also enjoying the conversations with people, who we can call as customers. And yeah, success in the form of numbers come, promotions, then you realize, okay, maybe, this is the place you want to be, this is the role you want to be, this is the industry you want to be, money is okay, and maybe then you look at the company you work for, right? So next 4 or 5 years, in my view, this is for the students who are passing out or studying. Don't take yourself very seriously on your first job. You might be found out, or you may find the employer not to be the expectation that you have, or the entire circumstances. So in my view, almost 5 or 6 years goes into the experimentation of whether you chose right. And of course, you have the pressures of how well your alumni is. There will always be 1 or 2 guys in your batch who are hitting the ball out of the park, and you'll be under that pressure constantly. So how do you handle that? For me, that's the first setback that you face when you get out of a place like IIM, and where there are peer pressures, there are batch pressures, and not very about 450 people to compare. That's a lot. And somebody would have got lucky. What I mean by lucky is maybe all their strengths, their aspirations, the company they chose, the manager, the culture of the company, all maybe came together for that. Maybe for you, it's just that discovery phase that you couldn't make it right. So the setbacks could be in the form of making a wrong choice, which is fine. Don't take it too seriously. And two, landing up at a place where you feel it's not the right circumstances. What I mean by the right circumstances, our ability to handle pressure after getting out of college is a difficult one. And I find most of us struggling at that phase. I did too in my first job. So the pressure point in college is completely with you. It's in your hand. You study, you do make the acquaintances, whatever projects you make. Much of it is how you deploy your time. That I talked about self-study. So it's a whole lot of things that you do which is in your control. But when you go in an organization, many things are not in your control. You didn't choose your manager. You didn't choose the culture of the company. You didn't choose the role. They tell you what to do, right? You chose the job, but you didn't choose the circumstances, the context of the company. A company is going through a merger. A company is going through an overseas expansion. The company is going through a turnaround, right? Or it has just started if you joined a startup. So the context is not in your hands. It also means that whatever you wanted, other than the monthly paycheck that comes on the first, is not in your hands. So many things are there which is not in your control, unlike what is there in the college. I know I'm saying something which sounds very obvious, but when you stand there, it feels like, oh my God, I can't handle this pressure. It's quite likely. I want all of you to factor in, God forbid that doesn't happen, but there will be circumstances in your life where you may even be asked to leave the company that you work for. I think in the global context that we are in, if you look at post-vaccination 2022, companies hired millions of people, and they didn't need them. Over the last 2 years, they've laid off that many people. So that was none of their fault. The people who changed the jobs, who went there, great resignation. But today, much of these people have been laid off, and for none of their mistakes. So I want this, what do I call it, an attribute, a parking space that if you can develop in your head that things can go wrong. I make a bad choice, or without my fault, I might even be out of a job. But that is where I think being in a place like IIM helps, because great reckoning you have as the reputation that is built. There's so many alumni, I don't know how many thousand right now. I'm just making rough maths of and 300 into 15 years, whatever that number is that number right? I don't know. So that is a huge ecosystem to be part of, and that it's an important element. Don't ignore that part. Don't just be with these 300, 400 guys or those 3 or 4 guys you hung out all the time in these 2 years. There's a big world out there. Utilize that alumni network. That is what will come into play because it's a volatile world and things could change without you being in control of it. So that's something I want to put out. That is because many of you are going to be leaders tomorrow, and at least I'm hoping you'll be aspired to be. It's important to look at how we work with a very diverse workforce. I understand that almost 40% of the student communities today is women in India, though we are diverse by different ways, language, state, food we eat. There's so much of diversity, but I think at the enterprise level, it is important to bring an equality in terms of how many women we employ. And it is strange because when you look at Fortune 500 companies for all that they have done, for so many years today, there's only 11% of those companies are led by women. Only 11%. It was worse 10 years ago, 2016, 17, there were only 25 women who led Fortune 500 companies. That is at least moved to 55 now. Something has happened in the last 10 years. So why are we saying why should, it's not a reservation or a quota system that I'm talking about. Talking about how do you have an eye for having to work with different kind of people, and especially gender. And why gender, I'll come to that in a while and give you a little more data points around what is missing. Even, if you look at the roles that people take up. Today in the enterprises, the private enterprise world, most of the companies find it easy to recruit women for CHRO roles. The number one role where you find, in C-suite, if you find a woman, most likely to be in CHRO, number one. 2 could be CFOs. Worldwide, Fortune 500 companies, 18% of their CFOs are women. And very interesting thing on women leadership. Actually, Goldman Sachs put it out, a study they did 2 or 3 years ago where they said that they found out that 47 hedge funds, which were led by women, outperformed 37 hedge funds led by men. And it's sort of, some of these data points got out. There's this very nice paper published by a company called OneStream. It's an enterprise, it's a financial enterprise, ERP enterprise, which actually has come up with a study called Glass Chair. And in that study, where they studied almost 1,500 organizations and 500 investors, they found out that companies which had women CFOs had a higher shareholder return, 4.5 times, 4.5 times. And companies which are underperforming, who appointed women CFOs, actually saw a 10% increase in profitability. And which was collaborating with what S&P 500 study also said that where they found out that companies which had women CFOs were profitable by 6% more, and it returned 8% more shareholder returns in the first 24 months. So much information on why companies actually did well by having women CFOs, right? So I want the leaders of tomorrow to reflect on how diverse my workforce will be. I know because of the new government coming in, diversity is thrown off the window in US by some companies who are benefited by the US federal government. But in a country like India, where almost we have 50% output of women in education institutes, I want tomorrow's leaders to be very conscious of it. And why I'll tell you why I'm conscious of it. 2 years ago, we were pitching for a project, a GCC project in Hyderabad for a UK-based company. And we did all the work. We told them you should not go to Jaipur. The skills are not there in Jaipur. You should go to Hyderabad. This is where the skills are. Everything happened, and 3 of our best leaders who practice heads in GCC went for this meeting. They presented the data points as to why Hyderabad over, let's say, Pune, Bangalore, and other places. And finally, when they were about to award the contract, the CEO, she called me and said, I'm not giving it. I said, what happened? I'm like, you liked our data. You said, because of us, you're going to Hyderabad. Kya hua? She said, everything is fine. I told you from day one that I want to build an organization in India, 1,000-member organization in India, which has at least 50% women. For all your meetings, you send 3 men. Including the dinner that I was surrounded by 3 men. So I don't want to work with a partner whose senior leadership does not have them. Right? So that was a kind of a scrambling moment for me as an entrepreneur. We were focused on making the company survive, become profitable, grow big, but it was a kind of a blind eye for somebody who's a father of two girls, and you grew up in a family of 25 which had 15 women, but we never looked at it as an entrepreneur. Survival was the only thing. But in the enterprise, that all the information that I shared with you, where enterprise are led by women, it's a huge angle in terms of how the organization can be more productive. No disrespect to, I'm not saying that you should have a women director or whatever, but I'm saying in the context of enterprises today, it is an important element. I want tomorrow's leaders or in IMT to sort of be conscious of it. Just looking at the time so that I stick to the time slot given to me. Last few things, I think as you wade through the corporate life, one of the elements that I want you to see is how do you impact the society which gave you so much, right? You'll all be the most privileged ones. Like I said, it's to come here with a certain amount of preparation and you've cracked certain things to be here. You'll possibly get some of the best job opportunities out there than many other MBAs who are struggling to get job opportunities. If you can make an impact in certain areas, I just want to give it out there. I have no solution, but I think at least I can lay out the problem for you, right? Can you, as tomorrow's leaders, look at how do you impact India with job creation? Higher institutes of India produce close to 1 crore, 7 lakhs qualified people every year. We hardly produce about 20 lakh new jobs. Data all differs, but I'm saying the private data, what we see, what's the reality, there's that friction. You can imagine, right? 8.5 lakh engineers pass out. 2.5 lakh of them are computer science engineers. How many people can you really think 8 lakh engineers can get a job in year one? So that's the reality. The highest number of computer science graduates or engineers who got jobs in India for IT companies who absorbed the maximum number of engineers was in 2022, 6 lakh. But otherwise, only 1 lakh freshers get jobs in IT companies today. So what do we do? Talk about the crore plus passing out. So is there something that we can all look at in tomorrow as to, can we be in a space which allows job creation? Think about it. I'm sure at least after you finish off your loans, if you have, and you think you arrived, is there an area that you can impact? Or you can choose an area which actually impacts that even today. Two, look at a sector like insurance. Hardly 3.5% of Indians are insured today. And as you know, it's a country which is also aging and highly underpenetrated from an insurance point of view. Can you bring more people? Can you work in spaces which allows more inclusion on that front? They say the third area I wanted to focus on is they say in the next 10 to 12 years is the best time for Indian equity markets. How do we actually enable India, which today, of course, struggles from a per person capita point of view, but how do we enable more people using equity as one of their savings instrument? And today we have, I think, 13 crore, 13.5 crore people who are so-called registered equity investors in a country of, let's say, 1.4 billion. So you can imagine the penetration which exists and how in the wave of wealth will rich become richer, or can we bring more people along with us? And most importantly, being in Trichy, I just want to put it out to you, because when I came to Trichy first time, which was 21 years ago, 2004 I came, to open a job center in Trichy. Those days I used to head Tamil Nadu for recruiting company. That was my first recruiting company. We opened a 2-member team. That company has no office today in Trichy. But the point is that there are 15 to 18,000 grads who pass out here. There are 52 cities in India which have a population of 1 million to 3.5 million. And we all know how we are all clogging the cities. At least the big 6 cities, how they're sort of getting clogged. Can we look at how do we develop tier 2 cities? Is there a way that some of you future leaders can think what is the kind of impact you can make to cities like this, especially if you're given 2 years here and if you're not from this city, how do you look at building a better ecosystem of employment in tier 2 cities? So this is some of the things I wanted to call out for you guys. And before I conclude, one thing I wanted to also share with you on one hack which I felt, which really I didn't have when I started my career, and for a period of time I developed. You can be technically possibly superior, you're the best HR guy, I think you're a financial wizard, or there isn't a marketeer like you. But none of these things will take you beyond a point if your relationship skills sucks. Some of us actually make faces, and we see some of them who have a little more affinity towards it, saying, okay, this guy's okay, cool, like he's always smiling, always talking on everything. We have our own buckets in which we do. But I can tell you that even the very reason I'm standing here talking here, because somebody who I knew 20 years ago, kept relationship for the last 20 years, said, he should actually invite Kamal here. And the entire close to 400 crore turnover we built at Extreme is a compounding effect of last 25 years of relationships. And it is not just for business outcomes. On a day-to-day basis, if you are very serious about your career, and relationships is not about saying yes to people you work with, sucking up to your bosses, adjusting with people that you work with. I wanted to reflect on how do you actually be with people without agendas, without transactions, and how do you build that? It's a skill that can be built. And the career success, in my view, has a huge catalyst to career success or fulfillment will come from relationships. Not just, of course, it's a life hack. What would life be without relationships with our near and dear ones? So beyond the life hack, I think I found it to be something that I didn't have when I started my career, and I learned from it and I developed it for a period of time. People say that it comes naturally to a few people. Some of us have to develop it. But I think have an eye for it. How do I develop relationships? I'm not going to give Gyan on how to do it today, but please reflect on that part. And I found people who are successful have some of these traits. Relationship is one. Two, ability to take risks. I think your career success is directly proportional to the kind of risk you take. I won't say be foolish, but you should dare it out to make it big. As an entrepreneur, or even as an employee in some place, can you punch above your weight? Can you give expansion to yourself? Can you give bandwidth to the bosses that you work with? That is an important element of the risk that you have as an employee that you can take, and some of them do it quite frequently. And the third, I find is your ability to be responsive in any situation. We all like people who respond to us, don't we? Are we the same to others or to people that are part of our ecosystem? I think in an enterprise ecosystem, you being responsive really matters for whatever it is. And the last, this may not be relevant today, you're just passing out, but as you go to lead organizations, your ability to recruit. Most of the leaders today think if I have a recruitment agency, I'm done. God bless them, because in India, recruitment industry is a $16 billion industry, and people like me have flourished for the last 25 years. But your ability to recruit personally, and that is where the first parameter that I talked about relationships for, I think will make you very successful. You can't do everything. I'm sure, you've seen multiple directors coming here. Dr. Pawan talked about the team that he recruited would make a difference to how this institution will be, celebrating maybe Golden Jubilee or whatever that it deserves tomorrow, in a much larger way. So the ability to recruit is an element that is underestimated. So I would like to believe that whether it's relationships, ability to expand, clearly taking risks, and ability to recruit are some of the hacks if you can take with you, and someday remember that some fellow had come and told this when you're passing out, but it seems to be right. And if it happens to you, I'll consider the time that I spent traveling from Bangalore to here and being here really, really fructified for me personally. I made a commitment that, look, we recruit campus recruits every year, and I told Professor Abhishek that, look, I want to hire. Somebody challenged me the other day in my office saying, look, Kamal sir, aap 2 IIM bande mere ko de do and see how I will do this business. Give me 2 IIM guys and see how I will grow this business, right? So when I came here, I was telling Professor that there are people who are willing to go and consult with clients, because we meet greenfield GCs, telling them come to India, don't go to Mexico, don't go to Poland, come to India. That is the first thing we tell companies who come to India. So you require a bit of a punching above the weight to do that, right? And your penchant for knowledge. So you have to tell them why India is better in some of these countries they would like to go, right? So that is something that I look forward to, hoping that some of you would work for Extreme, though it is not a brand, but it's an IPO going company 2 years from now. So there'll be wealth creation, and there'll be definitely enormous amount of knowledge that people will gain working for a consulting company. But want to end by saying that look, career is not built overnight. I believe in the adage of Kalaya Tasmai Nama. With time, things will happen, and that is the patience that I want all of you to abide by. In my hometown Udupi, we say in Kannada, "Tadidavanu Baliyanu," the guy who has patience will eventually win. So let that be with you as you progress in your career. And once again, happy birthday and thanks for having me here, Professor Abhishek. Thanks for having me and the hospitality for the moment. And Dr. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing with us your inspiring journey of creating and building such an exemplary organization in the professional recruitment industry and enlightening us on present industry trends of professional recruitment. The 15-year commemorative book of IIM Tiruchirappalli captures the story of an institution built with purpose, scale, and credibility over 15 years. From its founding in 2011, with an initial batch of 85 students, to its evolution into an institute of national importance under the IIM Act of 2017, the book documents IIM Tiruchirappalli's steady institutional growth. It records the expansion to over 550 learners annually, the strengthening of executive education and management development programs, and the maturation of a fully residential ecosystem. The volume also chronicles key markers of external validation, including AMBA accreditation, progress towards AACSB accreditation, and the Institute's 16th rank in the NIRF management category, reflecting consistent performance across academics, research, and governance. Together, these milestones, along with Institute's work in research, industry engagement, sustainability, and transparent practices, are thoughtfully culminated in this commemorative book, making it both a record of achievement and the reference for the future. It's my honor to invite the director, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, the chief guest, Sri Kamal Karan, other dignitaries on the stage, members of the editorial team, Professor Hari Sri Kumar, Professor Abhishek Kumar Totavar, Professor Upam Pushpak Makicha, Dr. Ilavarahan K, and the media relations team to please unveil the 15th year commemorative book of IIM Tiruchirappalli.
ये मुझे हारना बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता है. It is good. It's not wasted. Things we have done. सुंदर. Ensure that it appears straight. Ready? Please. Thank you. This is coming 15 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Last year, the students of IIM Tiruchirappalli engaged with its Make a Difference program with enthusiasm and zeal. Math's primary goal is to raise awareness among our students regarding the prevalent social issues in our society. And each year, outstanding projects receive recognition. The institution takes pride in presenting the certificates to the students who have demonstrated exceptional dedication and effort in the math projects. The best project this time is titled Grameen Cart, enabling market linkages for rural entrepreneurs. I request the students to come to the dais. Mr. Akash Mandal, Mr. Amriyo Himanshubai Benjibar, Mr. Sapeshi Dar. I request the Chief Guest to felicitate the students by awarding the Best Math Projects to 2024-26 batches of PGPM and PGPM HR.
Please.
Sure.
Is it? Ready? Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations to the students for their incredible achievements.
Students have worked tirelessly to put their learnings to practice through the medium of case competitions. It is a great pride to see their enthusiasm and hard work reap its benefits. I request our chief guest to felicitate the students by awarding them with a certificate. I request the students to come to the dais. Winners of Godrej DEI, Mr. Mutayyab M. Khan, Mr. Vishwanathan A, Ms. Mahima Suli, Ms. Aishwarya Sri. Winners of HDIC Live Aspire 2.0, Ms. Saloni Verma, Ms. Yatri Hetal Kumar Patel, Ms. Gauri Prajapati.
You also need to fly?
No,
Next time.
Vishwanath.
Please keep. Yes. Taken? Oh.
Is it? Ready? Thank you.
Thank you. All.
Thank you.
Winners of HDFC Life Aspire 2.0, Ms. Saloni Verma, Ms. Yatri Hetal Kumar Patel, and Ms. Gauri Prajapati.
Ready? Thank you, sir. Ready? Thank you.
Winner for HSBC IB League, Mr. Tejeshwar Rao Alaka, Mr. Libin Lal, Mr. Sahil Talreza. Mr. Tejeshwar Alaka, Mr. Levin Lal, Mr. Sahil Talwez. Winners for RSM Accelerate.
Ready? Thanks. Congratulations.
Mr. Vasant Kanan, Mr. Vigna Prasad K, Mr. Kritik Raj Madhavan.
Display your certificate. Ensure it. Thank you. Yes.
Winners in operations and marketing stream of Dr. Reddy's case competition, Ms. Gauri Girish Nair, Mr. Nijin JN, Mr. Harshad Kurachika.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Ready? Ready? Thank you.
A round of applause for our winners. I request our dignitaries to please take their seats. The following students demonstrated how well IIM Tiruchirappalli addresses a challenge. They didn't win, but they brought no lesser glory than our winners. We laud their efforts and hope that they will continue to showcase the same zeal onward and upward. I'm just calling out their names. Finalists for Amazon Ace, Ms. Saniwada Haripriya, Ms. Rashi Manoj Ghodmare, Mr. Veera Netaji NT, Mr. Lokesh Agarwala. Finalists for First IIM Bangalore, Mr. Samir Rajesh Chandan, Mr. Arnav Marathe, Mr. Mohit Sanjay Bansod, Mr. Vedant Kakkar. We had two finalist teams in the General Business Consulting for Two-Centric Bottoms Up 4.0. First is Ms. Namita, Mr. Haridwari Anike Jitendra, and Ms. Bansi Tumpadia. The second team in the same category is Mr. Nikunj Kumar Gupta, Mr. Nipun Mittal, Ms. Ananya Oberoi. Finalists for Cummins Redefined, Mr. Shubhojoy Datta, Mr. Dhrumil Bhavesh Dave, Mr. Sonjoy Mondal. Runners up for HSBC IB League, Mr. Joel Thomas George, Mr. Bhuvan Sharma, Mr. Praveen Vijay. Runners up for the Flipkart Wired 9.0, Mr. Hemant Kothari, Mr. Kushagam Paliwal, Mr. Jitendra Vijay. Runners up in the digital practice category for Thousandric Bottoms Up 4.0, Mr. Pradeep US, Mr. Nandu Krishnan TA, Ms. Tiva Joseph. Runners up for Cummins Redefined, Mr. Vasant Kanan, Mr. Vigna Prasad K, Mr. Kritik Raj Madhavan. Runners up for PepsiCo LTGT, Mr. Ashutosh Kumar. Lastly, we have a second runners up for RSM Accelerate, Ms. Ananya Oberoi, Mr. Nipun Mittal, Mr. Nikunj Kumar Gupta. Congratulations to the students for their incredible achievement.
Employee recognition is all about acknowledging the hard work and accomplishments of the individuals. It is about creating an emotional connections, and here we proudly commemorate the faculty and staff members' dedication to completing 10 years of service at our institute. I invite our chief guest to felicitate them with a certificate and token of appreciation. I request the following faculty to please come to the dais. Professor Upam Pushpak Makicha,
Professor of HR. Then yes.
Professor Mukundan KV, Professor Vino CT, I request everyone to kindly gather for a group picture.
Sir, please come. Please come. Guruji, please mind me. There you go. Ready? Thank you. Thank you.
We take pride in recognizing our non-teaching staff members who have gone the extra mile to enhance their knowledge and skills by acquiring higher qualifications that are directly related to the employee's current and future possible job responsibilities in the institute. Their dedication to self-development not only reflects individual excellence but also strengthens the academic and administrative foundation of our institute. I invite our chief guest to felicitate them with a certificate and token of appreciation. I request the following staff to please come to the dais. Ms. Rajalakshmi C. Ms. Menaka A. Ms. Chandramati B. Mr. Kumaraswamy A. Ms. Sajila M. Mr. Kulindai Yesu R. Mr. Vincent A. is unavailable today due to unavoidable circumstances. Ms. Devi is on duty today at the Chennai campus. I request everyone to gather for a group picture. Thank you all.
We would now like to felicitate our chief guest. I request our director to present Shri Kamal Karan with a memento as a token of appreciation.
Thank you. This has to be packed. I will try it. Pack it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I now invite Dr. P. Saravanan, Dean Corporate Relations and Faculty Affairs, to please present the vote of thanks.
Respected Chief Guest, Sri Kamal Karna, co-founder, Xfinov Private Limited, and our beloved director, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, Dean Academics, and my colleague, Professor Satish Nageswarappa, Dean Administration, Professor Godwin, and dear faculty colleagues, staff members, students, invited guests, good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of IIM Tiruchirappalli, it is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this momentous occasion, that is our 16th Foundation Day celebration. First and foremost, I extend our sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Kamal Khan, for joining us today, as well as for sharing his insightful Foundation Day address. Thank you very much, sir. I also convey our heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, for his visionary leadership, for setting the direction that continuously strengthen IIM Tiruchirappalli's academic and institutional journey. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to Dr. Satish Nageswarappa, Dean Academics, for warm welcome address and for his continued academic stewardship. My special thanks also goes to Dr. Godwin, Dean Academics, for the conducive organization of this event. We gratefully acknowledge everyone involved in curating and presenting today's program, including the team who made video presentation that captured our journey so far and the launch of the 15-year commemorative book, both of which reflect the collective effort, spirit, and the progress of IIMTC. We also congratulate the students who received a certificate of appreciation for a Make a Difference project, the winners of case competition, and our staff and employees who are felicitated today both for completing 10 years of dedicated service as well as for attaining higher educational qualifications while they are in service of IIMT. Your commitment and achievements enrich this institution and set a strong example for our own community. My sincere appreciation goes to all faculty and staff colleagues, the organizing team, student volunteers, and the administrative and support team who worked meticulously behind the scenes, handling plan, logistics, venue arrangements, and hospitality to ensure today's celebration was conducted smoothly and with dignity. Finally, I thank all our guests and students for your presence and participation. Your continued support, engagement, and goodwill are what make this Foundation Day meaningful year after year. With these words, I once again thank you everyone who contributed for the success of the celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for us to pay homage to our motherland. Let us all stand for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. With this, we have come to the conclusion of our program.
Thank you.